Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about the adventure synchron list I took to regionals past Saturday and go over the changes I made to the deck. And yeah, let's jump right in because there's quite some stuff to talk about. So for the synchrons, we went with triple jet, double stardust synchron, one revolution synchron, one assault synchron. Then instead of tuning, I decided to play triple overtake, and then the one-offs, the Stardust Illumination, the Stardust Trail, and the Chunk Servant. So I tried to go for a approach that doesn't play that much into role and at the same time be more resilient to board breakers. So I played around with different ratios of Trishula in the extra deck because I wanted to focus more on a hand rip approach this time. And then I thought about maybe adding back overtake to the deck because it's just a free extender. It's pretty strong actually to help you play through hand traps. Then I like a godsend stumbled across a YouTube channel the other day, so huge shout outs to Tevstark, I think the channel is called. I will link it in the description. He's a Latin American synchron enjoyer, and he played a list quite similar to this one in the remote stool YCS that happened like 2 weeks ago or something in Latin America and almost made top 32, I think. And if you are following the Synchron Players Facebook group and the Wolfground Discord, you might stumble across this list as well. And he made a post in the Facebook group where he went 4th place at a regional with his list. And I mean that those results speak for themselves, I would say. So I decided to, that's a good idea, give it a shot. I tried this one out earlier when Donex started mentioning this card. Shoutouts to him as well, because it gives you more consistency in the sense that a Diabellstar plus any extender that doesn't use up your normal summon, like Fenrir, or it could even be like a Fateful Adventure or like a Dracoback that's left over, still gets you to combo basically. Or if you have Fenrir and discard, that's still full combo then as well. So I wanted to, so I put this back into the list because it really, I felt like it really pumped up the consistency. So, and then I decided, to cut the Synchro Rumble because it's not necessary to play it. I mean, it's nice to have for follow-up to Search of Crimson Dragon, but with that much draws running around in the format, I figured that you're probably not gonna resolve the search effect of Crimson Dray a lot of times anyway. Yeah, and the other argument for Synchro Rumble was to play through hand traps, and this card does it just as well, if not even better, because it actually accesses your combo compared to Synchro Rumble, which I mean is a bit more flexible because you can bring back a level 8 synchro as well. But yeah, I feel like this is the better approach, and it really feels like the way to go to me. Yeah. Then for the adventure package, we still rockin' triple Enchantress, the 1 Griffin Rider, 3 Aramesir, 1 Faithful, 1 Dracoback, and the Foolish Burial. Not much to talk about. We know what these cards do and we like them for it. Then the Diabellstar engine didn't change as well. I kind of want to make room for a third one. That would be nice, just to access that tiny bit more of consistency. But yeah, I have to pick up a third one for that, and yeah, let's see if I can make a good deal somewhere in the future. But I was pretty happy with that ratio. I rarely missed the third one. I think for consistency it's still okay that way. And then for non-engine, triple Fenrir, triple Droll, triple Imperm, and triple Talents. So I decided to go for Droll over Ash in the main deck because I felt like Droll is just more impactful, and you know, to stop the Snake Eye and the Snake Eye Fire King matchup, you would need a lot of hand traps, and we don't have room for that many hand traps. So I felt like, you know, if I play a hand trap, I play a more impactful one, and then I decided, but I still wanted to keep a generic option, so I decided for Imperm over Ash because it's good as a 6th card, and in the Fire King matchup it's way better because if you Ash them and they still extend, they make the heater and then revive your Ash Blossom and actually extend even further. So, and it doesn't play into talents. That's another reason. And then 3 talents. I think it's a great card. Like, it came up a ton. And also during testing before the event, I was really happy with talents in the main, because the amount of times I got trolled on my first search and then go talents and rip out like an impermanence or a Veiler or something else that would have stopped me, just won me so many games, because you can still accomplish quite a lot in this list under Droll, or, you know, in general in Adventure Synchron. It's not like that, you know, Droll shuts you down completely all the time. It shuts you down like if you just open searches, but, you know, then every deck loses to Droll basically. Was pretty happy with that lineup as well. I kind of wanted to fit in a Nibiru, maybe over the Imperms, but I'm not sure, because, you know, I felt maybe just double down on the thought process of like just playing really impactful hand traps and then, you know, just risk them to be dead in other matchups. But, you know, in formats like this, I think you kind of have to high roll basically and hope that it works out. So off to the extra deck. We are playing the 1 Herald of the Arclight, an Excel Synchron, the Jet Warrior now, because of Overtake, you know. It's like Fusion Deployment, but for Synchros. So you reveal this. It says Jet Synchron on its material, so you get to summon out a Jet. Then Chunk Speeder and Librarian, which made it back in the list. Which is funny because I haven't showed you a deck profile where I didn't use Librarian, but the past 2 DB matches I tried a deck list or a list that goes for the Calamity lock, and there I didn't use Librarian because you need to make room for the level 12s. Then for the 6, the 1 Stardust Assault. Then after the 8s, no level 7. The Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon, the OG Stardust Dragon, Omega and Crystal Wing. And then for level 9 I played the Croc and the Trishula. Because this build focuses more on hand ripping. And last but not least, a Fleur, a Dispatter, and the Crimson Dragon. So yeah, there's the combo's pretty nice. Like, you go for the unaffected speeder combo most of the time with this build, and during the combo you actually make the Excel Synchron send a Stardust to grave to make him level 9, and then tag a Crimson Dragon out into a Trishula, and then you take a Jet and Synchro summon this Dispatter with Trishula and Jet Synchron, and then you go into Omega as your last Synchro and then rip 2 more cards. So yeah, the extra deck was pretty nice, flows pretty well that way. I kind of was used to having a level 7 in the extra decks, so yeah, I missed that during the event a ton actually. There were a few instances where I thought, oh damn, Moonlit would be great now. So yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe I do some changes to the extra deck again. But once you got used to not having like the level 7 access, I think it's alright that way. you don't have to play the level 7. So I mean, it was always like this, like it's what either these two or the level 7, or depending on the build, of course, which are the flex spots in the deck. Alright, so then off to the side deck. Obviously 3 tokens. And then I decided to go for Ash Blossom and Bell in the side deck. Just for like matchups where they are really good. Like going for against Labyrinth, for example. These are pretty strong. So I wanted to have something for that. I went with 2 Soul Release and 1 Called by the Grave. So I had this one in mainly for going first, but also kept it in going second against like graveyard heavy strategies like Tyr and Fire King, of course. And then I went with Cosmic Cyclone because it's just great, this format against Fire King. It just functions as a board wipe because you out the field spell and then the whole board gets popped. And then last but not least, 3 Evenly match. I know a lot of people say Evenly isn't that great into the format, and technically they are right. If you don't capitalize in main phase 2 on the damage that you did with Evenly, then it doesn't really do that much, because you know the Fire Kings and Snake Eyes, they have a lot of follow up in the graveyard and a lot of 1-card starters. But I think if you're playing a deck like Synchron, it's a pretty nice option, because you out their board and then you have to play just through the graveyard interruptions, which is still a lot. But if you either have one of those or enough gas in your hand, you can play through that and then, you know, go for Trishula, like banish some follow-up out of the graveyard and rip a card out of the hand, and banish like the Garunix on board, then like it happened in one game. I think it's pretty good in decks like Synchron, of course. Like if you play a kind of a mid-rangey strategy, then you're probably gonna stay away from Evenly. There are probably better cards then to play. But yeah, I was pretty happy with the list. And then, you know, let's talk about the tournament. So yeah, it didn't went too well for me. I dropped after round 4 because my standing was 1-3 then, and that's, you know, just far away of the possibility to get the invite. You know, I felt like, you know, I'm just going home now and maybe think about like some changes. I mean, it wasn't like that I wasn't happy with how the deck performed. It was more like, yeah, it was more like misplays on my part that in crucial moments that, yeah, led to some losses. And the most notable one I want to talk about now. Oh, no, actually, just I think we go over the matchups in order. So round 1 I played against Snake Eye Fire King. My starting hand was something like an Imperm, Diabellstar, Wanted, and Double Overtake. Yeah, that was my starting hand. And I Impermed the Ash. So he won the die roll. I started with Imperming his Ash. And then he went Bonfire and grabbed Populous and, you know, was full combo from there. And then I top decked another Wanted. And I mean, going first, this would work. Like this would be combo, because you could go draw phase, add Diabellstar to like fetch out an potential Ash Blossom, and then you go Diabellstar, discard another Diabellstar probably, and, you know, go for Snake, go for these info spoils, and then you do Overtake, fetch out a Jet, and then you synchro these 2 off into Excel Synchro and activate Jet effect to search the Junk Servant, and then you have full combo. But going second into the full Fire King Snake Eye board, that's just far from being enough. So yeah, I decided to just scoop it up right away to not show him what I play. And then game 2 I went first, and I opened pretty well actually. I opened Dire Bellstar, Enchantress, double Imperm, I think it was. And what was the last one? The last one wasn't so good, wasn't so great. I think the last one was the Draco back. Starting hand was something like that. So I went Dire Bellstar, pitched the Enchantress, and then he impermed it. And I then went Enchantress and grabbed Right. And after that he dropped Droll Lockbird. So yeah, on that point I activated the Right actually to get the token out and the Fateful, and set the 2 imperms, and then he used Cosmic Cyclone to out one of my impermanences, and then yeah, he normaled Ash. I impermed it, but he had Dire Bellstar then as well, but the other Dire Bellstar was his only play then, and if it wasn't for that Cosmic Cyclone, I maybe had a chance to try again on my turn, because my setup was actually not that bad. The follow up with Fateful Adventure, so that was unfortunate, but round 1, it's alright. I was still pretty relaxed at that point. And then round 2 I played against Kashtira, and I got shifted both games, and unfortunately my hand didn't allow me to play into shifter, because there are some lines that you can still accomplish more or less what you want under shifter, but unfortunately I didn't have the hands for it. I had the Dire Bellstar package, and the original Sinful Spoils doesn't work under shifter. I technically lost that round as well, but my opponent decided to drop out of the tournament, so he gave me the win. And then round 3 I played against Snake Eye Fire King again, actually against one of my mates from my local game store, where I play my local tournaments. So he went first. He established more or less his full board. I drolled him, and that actually hurt. He just had a minimal setup with a bit of follow-up. I don't remember exactly what my hand was, but the hand lost to Droll and Ash. So yeah, that's that. And then when it was his turn again, he normaled Snake Eye Ash, and that's just it. So I scooped it up. Game 2 I went first, comboed off because he didn't have any hand traps, and he scooped the second I summoned Trishula and sniped the Kurikara out of his hand. He said, yeah, let's just go to game 3, this would have been my only chance. And then game 3 was beautiful. Let me show you. My hand was this, a wanted, and what was the last card? It was an overtake. So that hand, that's pure gas. That's all gas, but no hand traps, as you see. And he went full combo, and my 6th card was evenly, man. Oh, that was so insane. So I started with wanted during draw phase to add the Dire Bellstar. Let's just do that. And Then I went straight to battle phase, evenly his whole board. He kept the Ambler Whale, like he had Appaloosa, Ambler Whale, the Fire King, Sanctuary, and the island, and an IP. So I outed all of that, and then I went, okay, main 2, summon Griffin. He was like, yeah, alright. Then I activated Right, and then he was chain Princess, and then he chained he chained Princess on the summon of Griffin Rider, and destroyed it obviously. Then I went Right, got the token and the Fateful. And I then discarded the Jet to summon Diabellstar. I went chain 1 Diabellstar, chain 2 Fateful, and that's the point where the game ending misplay happened on my part. Because he chained, I think he chained Kieran to pop the Ambler Whale. And I resolved the chain. The misplay was to add the Draco back to the hand. Like, there was no need to add it to hand. It wouldn't have changed anything if I just equipped it. I should have just equipped it because he dropped roll afterwards, and that's the thing that killed me. So I went Diabellstar, that's this one, and then he went Garunix, summon out, and pop a Kieran from deck. And Kieran popped this one, and Ambler Whale I think popped the token, and brought back the what's that beast, that fire link 2 that like adds 1 back from grave. And so I was left with this. And if I hadn't played into Droll, I could have gone Jet, because he was out of interruptions then. I could have gone Jet special, synchro those 2 off for XL synchro, chain 1 Jet, chain 2 XL, bring back Jet, add the servant, normal servant, and then that's full combo. But your guy decided to, for whatever reason, play into Droll and Lockbird in that situation. So I just ended on Baron, which obviously wasn't enough. And yeah, that was game 3. And it was round 3. It was so bad. And I was pretty tilted afterwards then. After round 3 it was the lunch break. I decided to stay in the tournament and keep trying, keep pushing. Although that misplay got me so tilted, not gonna lie. Why like that? Like, it's such a basic thing, but in the heat of the moment, like, there was so much triggers and chains going on, and I was just only thinking about how I'm gonna chew through all these interactions that he has on the board and in the grave, that I completely forgot about his hand. And then he dropped the Droll. Heads up, you have to keep going. Round 4, we played against a Voiceless Voice. I won the die roll, the first one this day, and I went first. But I don't remember exactly what my hand was. I just remember it was a bit weird. So I had Fenrir and Diabellstar, which usually it's combo. But I think he stopped the Diabellstar. There was no, like, adventure access. So I went for. I think I had a Jet as well. Yeah, I had to normal summon Jet then. I climbed into a Baron with the XL and the Croc to draw a card, because I thought, maybe I can draw into something. And then I had just a Baron and I think an Imperm set or something. And then he went Branded Fusion in his main phase 1. I negated it with Baron. because I thought, if he's playing, branded, which I thought he would, that gets you a lot of advantage, so I want to stop that. But then he normal summoned low, and I impermed that, and then he went Typhon, out the Baron, attack directly. The next turn I top decked, I think it was an Stardust Illumination or a Stardust Synchron, which didn't do anything because I hadn't had any non-tuner access then. I should have played it safe. I really should have played it safe. I mean, sometimes it works out, the draw with Croc gets you boom to an Rite of Aramis or a Enchantress or something, and then you finally, your head is broken, and you just go full combo and win from there. But it didn't turn out that way. So yeah, that was unfortunate. So it was a bit of a back and forth then, but he top decked a Pot of Prosperity then, excavated a pre-prep, and then I rolled him. Then he was just, attacking with Typhon again. He said something, and then I hadn't had any plays, and I passed back to him. And then he had he had pre-prep going for him, and I knew at this point it's over. If I can build up anything meaningful in that turn, it's over. And yeah, it was. He maybe even ashed an Enchantress or something, so it was a bit of a back and forth, but he got the upper hand in the end. Then game 2, I went first again, full comboed him, and he scooped it up. We went to game 3. He went first, he had everything. Unfortunately, I haven't seen any of the ashes or bells that I sided in for the matchup, because stopping the pre-prep and stopping the Saphira effect just cuts him off a lot of advantage. My hand was pretty similar, I think, to the hand that I had in the Fire King matchup, Snake Eye Fire King in the first round, where I had double Diabell Star access, double Chat access, and no Adventure. No, sorry, I had just Adventure and Chat, and that was too much. He went negate. I think he negated right, but I managed to search a second one, and then I normal Chat, and he tagged out the Soravis for the Ritual Soravis to negate a summon, and that's just wasn't the hand to play through this. There was seeing too many multiples. It was just not enough gas in my hand this time. So yeah, I shaked his hand. I mean, it was a pretty good game actually. I think I could have played game 1 more optimally and maybe win, but yeah, that's just how it is sometimes. Like I said, I was happy with how the deck worked overall and how the deck itself performed, but I wasn't happy with my performance. That was totally on my end, the problem there. I mean, there were a few awkward hands, but if you play optimally, you can work around suboptimal hands, or just work around the one game that you lose in games 2 and 3 with good siding patterns, the right non-engine choice, which I was pretty happy with it as well overall, for the most part at least. And then try again games 2 and 3, and yeah, I have another regional coming up in end of March. I'm gonna grind the ladder probably and optimize my sequencing with the deck to hopefully see more success the next time. Alright, see you then, bye bye. Game 1,